It's the hashtag Simply Cyber, COMMUNITY. Here to break the cycle, this is vital more than you and I. Yeah, it's exciting, it don't matter what your title is. You can grab a friend or two or three or four, invite them in. It's the Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's the live with Jerry every morning, having good time. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. It's the Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's the live with Jerry every morning, having good times. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. Dr. Auger is a OG, got that potion, the elixir. Got devotion to all those who keep on showing up to witness. Fit the tricks and quips and all the tips to raise your cyber fitness. Switching up the routines, pass it off to James McQuiggan. Keep the people smiling, hit that follow, that's a good decision. Every week, today, tomorrow, I encourage y'all to listen. We gon' teach y'all way more than how to protect yourselves from phishing. More like being confident so you can recognize the vision. On a mission, it's official, we gon' get through all these issues. Time for Jawjacking, baby, this is more than a tradition, yeah. Oh, I can't forget to recognize the mods. They the engine, they the reason that you leave and feeling charged. It's a Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's a live with Jerry every morning, having good times. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. It's a Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's a live with Jerry every morning, having good times. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. Yeah. What else can I say? I hope you find some value in this place and have yourself an awesome day. Simply Cyber's here to stay. So let's all put our hands together ready. Time to hang with Dr. A.
Oh, hold on. All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the party. Today is May 1st. Welcome to May 2025. This is episode 866 of your Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. I am your host, back at the mothership, Dr. Gerald Auger, and over the next hour, me, you, Augusta Delgado, Tom Bishop on the boot, Kayla Kavanaugh coming in hot with the spicy tea. Not spicy, but hot tea. Yeah, I mean, not only IT, Tech Grunt, as always. We got a couple people up in this piece who are only listening on Spotify coming to check out the live show. Welcome to the party, pal. We are going... Hold on. The sound is in and out. Carrie's giving me AV feedback. Let me know. Mods, it is the first day back at the new studio, so if we are having audio issues, I do need to know that as soon as possible. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep rolling on the show. Good morning, everybody. Hey, Kayla Sturgeon. Hey, Ray W699. JT Webbs. Love it, love it, love it. Guys, as always, I'm going to be shredding apart the top cybersecurity news stories alongside all of you in the community, doing my absolute best, driven to serve you, to be able to give you insights, understanding, and the ability to look beneath the headlines and shred it to give yourself the ability to deliver cyber risk reduction for your business stakeholders, for your constituents, and most importantly, for your career, because it's all about being the CEO of you. Guys, listen, hey, we're a family here. Yeah, you know, that's great. That's great. But, you know, Maslow's pyramid of needs. We're going to take care of number one first. And that's what I'm trying to do here, set you up for success so you can just blow it out the water in interviews and, more importantly, be able to pivot and move quickly practicing wise to be able to protect yourself and your business stakeholders. Now, look, if you're looking to break into the industry, that's awesome. You do have a place here on the stream. Don't think this is for people who are in already. Whoa, Kathy Chambers in the house. Jerry was on the Anticast yesterday. If not, it's on the Anticast-Siphon YouTube channel. That's 100% right, Kathy. And many people had asked for this slide deck. The slide deck is available now. I've actually pinned it so if you're watching on YouTube right now, in YouTube chat, there's actually a pinned comment on the stream chat. That is a link directly to this YouTube. I can see a couple people are already up in the slide deck. If you're interested, Kathy, if you want to DM me a link to the webinar, like on the YouTube channel, I'll drop that as well. Again, we're all about trying to help people level up. And if you're looking to break in, guys, I'm telling you right now, you're going to be asked in any job interview, how do you stay current? Ding, 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 ding. The term winner, winner, chicken dinner does apply here. You're going to knock it out because this is a phenomenal answer to that question. And what I would say is you have the ability, if you're engaged and paying attention, to bring up some of the stories that we cover, which will be current. And the people interviewing you are going to know that they're current as well, which will really light their mind up because they're going to realize not only are you saying that you do this, but you're actually retaining the information and being able to apply it, which means you can help them at their work apply it, which means you can help them with their cybersecurity objectives and agenda. Boom, winning, right? I absolutely love it. Also, hey, I say this all the time, okay? A lot of smart people in chat, feel free to borrow their ideas. If I say something, if I go deeper into a story, feel free to just take it as your own. I give you carte blanche. You don't even have to cite me, anything like that, in a job interview. Be like, you know what I was thinking? Boom, right? Or take something I say and make it your own, right? Put your own twist on it, whatever it is. I want you to be able to be in the position to decide if you want the job or not if they want to offer you the job or not. All right, that's what's up here. Now, listen to me. I want you to know of all the stories we're going to cover, I didn't research or prep for any of them.
Ain't nobody got time for
that. For real, ain't nobody got time for that. I just got back from San Francisco. I've been, shucking and jiving. I had to take a nap on my couch yesterday like an old man, which, by the way, I don't know why. When kids complain that they have to take a nap, are you kidding me? Move. I'll take your nap. For real. All right, so I'm trying to get back into it. I picked up a little bit of junk from the conference, I think, so I'm kind of working through that, but I got a tall cup of coffee to help me with that, guys. I do want to say shout out and thanks to the stream sponsors, those who enable me to bring the heat to you every single morning, whether I'm in a hotel room that's incredibly overpriced because it's the week of RSA, or if I'm at the Buffer Auger Flow studio bringing the heat to you. They allow me to do this, and I'm absolutely grateful for it because I love doing it. I love serving this community. Let's hear from them real quick, and when I come back, I'm going to tell you how this show can solve your CPE troubles. And also a little bit of eye candy for everybody. Check this crew out. Look at this motley crew. This was the RSA Simply Cyber Community Meetup. We got Elliot Mattis, Dwight, Professor Roger White. We know this guy, Jerry guy back here. Phil Stafford crushing it. Jason Blanchard from Black Hills. Phil Wiley, Kat Reed. It was an absolute banger. Thank you all so very much. Hope to see you at the next one. Let's hear from the sponsors. I'll be in chat. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, ThreatLocker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with ThreatLocker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust ThreatLocker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. ThreatLocker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how ThreatLocker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com. Do you want cutting-edge, high-quality cybersecurity education regardless of financial position? Check this out. I want to give some love and some praise to Antisyphon Training, powered by Black Hills Information Security. Antisyphon Training is absolutely disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training industry by providing high-quality, cutting-edge education to everyone regardless of financial position. They bring industry professionals with years and years of experience into the classroom to teach you and anyone else who's interested practical skills that are in demand in the market today. And on top of that, the student experience is amazing as you and hundreds or thousands in some instances of other students are actively engaging, networking, sharing tips, tricks, and experiences with each other all live in the classroom. Go to antisyphontraining.com, check out their course calendar to see what courses they have coming up next. You won't regret it. I also want to say shout out to Barricade Cyber Solutions with their Fortify 365 solution. Listen, if you run an M365 environment, you get inherently a ton of security configurations and controls Very, very detailed, very, very granular, which is actually one of the key differences between a Google Workspace and an M365 instance, if you're looking to compare and contrast those two. But all of that configuration, all of that granularity, you need to know what you're doing. If you think that you can just apply on-prem concepts and lift it, shift it to the cloud, guess what? You got another thing coming, buddy. A lot of the security controls are not implemented by default, but Barricade Cyber Solutions 45365, they know what they're doing. They can come in, Eric Taylor and the crew, and basically turn the dials, turn the toggles, put on, conditional access, enable the things that should be on, and set you up for success. Think of it as a, like a baseline starter kit for getting secure and doing things the right way. Start off your M365 instance or get it straightened out today with fortify365.com. Links in the description below. As always, guys, every single day of the week has a special segment, and Thursdays is What's Your Meme Thursday. If you didn't know, Simply Cyber is all about community, and on Thursdays, a community member right here, Dan Reardon, a.k.a. The Haircut Fish, makes a custom meme. He's done it for years now. If you're a regular blue badge, you know exactly what's cooking. He's got a double shot today. There's 2 memes, so settle in. Dan always spoils us with great memes, and sometimes he does a double dip. With the memes. So like when I dip, you dip, we dip, right? To take it back. All right, guys, every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, including this one, episode 866, is worth 1/2 of a CPE. Now, I know many of you don't get out of bed for less than 1 CPE, but hear me out. Half a CPE every single day stacks. You can get up to 120 a year. Thank you, Kayla Sturgeon, for running the math. Take the screenshot right now as episode 866, half a CPE, floats by. Take it large enough to get the actual title of the YouTube video where it has the date. Save that in a folder off, and once a year, count the number of screenshots, divide by 2, and that, my friends, is the magic number of CPEs you got, and all the screenshots are for evidence if you are requested for that. All right, guys, we got a banger of an episode today. I'm super pumped. Do me a favor, everyone. Sit back, relax. If you're Kathy Chambers, maybe grab that handle on the side and recline, since she's been double timing it with her PhD studies. And let's let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over all of us in an awesome wave. I will see you guys at the mid-roll with Simple Minds and the meme of the week. Let's cook.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Thursday, May 1st, 2025. I'm Sean Kelly. Alleged Scattered Spider member extradited to U.S. A 23-year-old Scottish man thought to be part of the prolific ransomware gang was extradited last week from Spain to the U.S., where he faces charges of wire fraud, conspiracy, and identity theft. U.S. prosecutors allege Tyler Robert Buchanan and co-conspirators hacked into dozens of companies in the U.S. and abroad, and that he personally controlled more than $26 million stolen from victims. Buchanan was arrested in connection with a series of SMS-based phishing attacks back in 2022 that led to intrusions at Twilio, LastPass, DoorDash, MailChimp, and other tech firms. While Scattered Spider has been tied to the 2023 ransomware attacks against MGM and Caesars casinos in Las Vegas, it remains unclear whether Buchanan was implicated in those incidents.
All right. Couple things here. One, this is, well, of course.
Regulators, mount up.
Yes, sir. Now, 23-year-old, this dude out of Scotland. So, I'll just leave the Braveheart conversation to the side. This dude it's alleged. He'll get his day in court. I trust me, if there's, they got a lot of information on him. It's, they're probably feeling pretty confident about this case. Scattered Spider was pretty prolific. We knew that they were young, okay? If you've been around for a minute, you'll see that threat actor groups, whether they're nation-state threat actors, which are very professional and buttoned up really tight and almost try to go unnoticed. Then there's the more splashy ones that kind of say things on the dark web, and maybe they have that cool specific anime character for their dark web avatar, meaning they're like legit. And then sometimes you get these like loud, braggadocious, basically like arrogant hackers who almost feel untouchable, if you will, and because of that, they behave in a way that would dictate that. Now, again, they're young, which is why we know, like, typically the younger people act this way. And when the MGM Resorts Caesars attack happened, it was very, very aggressive. Also, there was like threatening of help desk people to just like, basically give up the creds or, we'll make your life a living heck. That's what's up. So, as usual, I would imagine that law enforcement is going to press this dude in order for him to give up his co-conspirators or his colleagues in exchange for a lighter sentence, for sure. Okay. He was involved. They say they don't know if he was involved in the MGM or Caesars attack. I would imagine this group is kind of like a little bit of a gang. They're not necessarily saying that they're a tight gang, but with these threat actor groups, you really never know who's coming and going. It's not like they're blood brothers or like, best friends who grew up and decided. This isn't like the movie The Town with Ben Affleck where like they're tight and they know each other and like then they decide to go into this thing. It's a little bit more loosey-goosey kind of it appears to be. They did do SIM swapping attacks. Remember, SIM swapping is where you essentially your cell phone has a SIM. They're eSIMs now, but essentially a SIM, which is a unique identifier that binds that physical phone device to your digital account, your digital phone number. So when you get a new phone, they port the SIM over, which is why you're able to keep your phone number. The problem is in a SIM swapping attack, if a threat actor is able to convince somebody or pay them off, which happens a lot in the T-Mobile worlds, then all of a sudden your phone is not your phone anymore, and a threat actor has your phone number, right? Which means that any text messages that come in are going to go to them. So if they've already compromised your credentials, this is one attack that can help circumvent and compromise multi-factor authentication. So I always say multi-factor authentication is not a silver bullet. Don't ever implement multi-factor authentication and then put your real password online and be like, oh, look at me now. You'll turn into that guy from LifeLock who drove around New York City with his social security number on the back of a truck thinking that he was invincible from identity theft, and he got like popped 13 times. Okay, so that's SIM swapping. I will say that I feel like I see less SIM swapping attacks nowadays. There's a little bit of a crackdown on that. Doesn't mean it's not still a valid attack vector, but it is. Also, bonus for everybody. I've heard it rumored, right? I won't attribute this to anyone, but I've heard it rumored that part of the reason that the DEF CON used to be at Caesars, right, and tied to the Caesars properties, and now it's at the convention center. I'd heard through the grapevine that part of that reasoning was that Caesars just didn't like basically Scattered Spider was a hacker group and hit Caesars, and Caesars is like, we're done with hackers, like move along. I personally am not super upset about that. I was talking to someone at RSA. Like, I loved that it's at the convention center. You know what I like? Not going outside in Las Vegas to go to Blue Team Village. I like air conditioning, okay? Call me soft, call me old, call me what you will, but I'm not pinkies out over here. I just like not sweating through my clothes and smelling when I'm trying to go to a conference, all right? So anyways, we'll see what this dude does. He'll probably be found guilty and receive a sentence and turn over people, all right? We also don't see a lot of Scattered Spider attacks recently. I think once the fuzz got onto them, they decided to go to the mattresses.
Experts see little progress after a major Chinese telecom hack.
Really quickly, if today is your first episode, and I'm going to qualify this, if today's your first episode at all, thanks for being here. Drop a hashtag first timer in chat. Lasercat, are you identifying with me, or are you calling me a masshole? Let me know in chat, because I that's not totally out of line. I am a bit, especially when I'm behind the wheel. If today's your first episode, drop a hashtag first timer. If today's your first episode, in the sense that you're like Chris HUS and you're a longtime listener, but first time speaker, or like someone else who is on Spotify only and first time on the show. If you qualify in any of those ways, let me know. We'll drop a hashtag first timer in chat. Okay, Chris Rock says the convention center, which I poo-pooed when I heard about it, was awesome. All under one roof, entertainment. Just go back to the hotel at 5 a.m. to refresh. Exactly, Chris Rock. I'm with you, dude. It's just, it used to be ridiculous. Like, you would have to choose if you were going to go to Blue Team Village or not, because it was like at the Flamingo or at the Link, like 10 minutes away. Like, ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Wednesday, a panel of national security and telecommunications experts warned the House Energy
Welcome to the party, Chulo.
and Commerce Committee of the implications of our nation's cyber defense failures during the Salt Typhoon telecom hacks last year. Jamil Jaffer, founder and executive director of the National Security Institute, said, quote, "The stark reality is we are not currently positioned to provide for a comprehensive defense of our nation, nor the global telecommunication systems or networks that American companies help operate, and we do not appear prepared to undertake the actions needed to do so," end quote. Panelists warned that adversaries have ramped up intelligence operations and artificial intelligence has supercharged data processing, all while the telecom sector has failed to detect real-time threats. Veteran cybersecurity intelligence analyst Laura Galante said, quote, "Despite the telecom's significant internal cybersecurity programs, detecting the Salt Typhoon compromise has required an extensive joint government-industry response. We must build a better, more dynamic operational security model than we have today," end quote. The panelists noted that CISA initially detected signs of Chinese hackers targeting U.S. telecoms through telemetry on government networks. Jaffer referred to that fact as a stunning revelation and even implied that CISA may have failed to provide timely warning to telecoms of those threats against them.
Oh, I was fine right up until that end. Are you joking me? CISA didn't provide timely updates? Like, I don't know if we're going to try to backdoor CISA on this one. All right, really quickly, Ben Thomas ACIIS over on LinkedIn, Chulo, Kinomed Knight, who was the Spotify listener, Christian Fernandez, and TM, welcome to the party, pal. And guys, I know that was a lot, so squad members, if we can just John McClane the heck out of chat right now. First timers, this John McClane, it's for you. Okay, so check it out. Couple things here. One, I'm going to get my GRC hat on. All right, GRC people, we all know this, but for the rest of you, you cannot eliminate all risk, okay? With enough time, enough resources, and enough persistence, and enough skill, you will get hacked, okay? I don't care what it is. Space shuttle, ballistic missile plans, you know, a mom and pop store, it doesn't matter. Like, eventually you'll get hacked, okay? And whether it's, you know, insider threat or, you know, they compromise someone else and proxy over, whether they straight up pay somebody off, it doesn't matter, okay? 0 days, whatever. Now, having said all that, when you have a nation state threat actor that is incredibly skilled, okay? Like, listen, when I think of like the tier 1 or tier S, is that it? What we call it? Is that what the Super Scion people do? You Gen Z people with your ratings, I don't get it. Like, it used to be A through F, and now there's like an S involved somehow. So tier 1, tier S, tier Premier, whatever. Not DJ Premier on the 1s and 2s. China, United States, Israel, Russia, North Korea, and then, you know, tier 2, I'd be willing to go Iran. You know, UK is pretty good. Pakistan's got some action going on in there. I suspect Germany's doing some things, right? Australia's got a little bit of action. Okay, but China's up there. So when China did this attack, it was very scary. And they say, like, following that attack, very little was done to respond to it in the effective lessons learned. So that should be concerning, right? So here's the deal. We identify a incredible critical infrastructure, okay? communications is one of the United States critical infrastructure's categories. If communication gets knocked out, it's a hot mess express. And I would just say, look no further, okay? Look no further than what happened in Spain and Portugal earlier this week. Within a matter of hours, okay? And if you don't know, Spain and Portugal like blacked out basically, okay? Within a matter of hours, people were like, you know, basically going ham on store shelves, hoarding stuff. It was like, not dystopia, but people started freaking out and taking care of number one, right? That was in a matter of hours. So when you have a nation state threat actor upside the telecommunications piece of the United States, if they were to, you know, I don't know, turn a lever, turn some stuff off, it would be terror. It would be terror. It would be devastating, okay? So that's why it's concerning. Now, here's the deal. It looks like not much has been done to correct that. You should be doing lessons learned after incidents. And that's probably the key lesson for this. Like, this is scary for us, okay? This is scary for me. But the TLDR for practitioners is a lot of times, and I'll be honest, I've been victim of this too. A lot of times you deal with an incident and you just friggin' crush it and move on to the next one, right? I ain't got time for that, right?
Ain't nobody got time
We don't
for
have
that.
time for lessons learned. It's the way we've always done it, right? But the reality is when you do have an incident, especially one of some substance, you really should, once you've like rebuilt the house or cleaned up the mess, you really should take time to discuss what happened, where were the shortcomings, can anything be done to prevent it, and can anything be done to better detect it earlier, and can anything be done to respond to it faster? Those are your three key, agenda items. Okay? Don't buy a bunch of friggin' pastries and just sit around and talk about how great you were in the incident. Get to brass tacks. What can we do? What was wrong? Like, you need like a team meeting leader who keeps everybody on track for that meeting. But a lot of times people don't do it. And in this instance, it looks like they just hit the reset button and kept going. And then at the very end, they throw CISA under the bus. Like, CISA should have let us know sooner. Bro, you're a private sector, multi-billion-dollar company, AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, Sprint, One Cellular, Mint, like all of you were making money for days. Get the out of here with like, oh, I should have gave me some threat intel sooner. How about you get pay for some threat intel, which I'm sure you're doing. It just annoys me. Like, I was on board with this right up until they said it's somebody else's problem. Get out of here with that noise, dude. Like, take 1/10 of 1% of your profit from 2024, and you could buy several threat intelligence platforms. Get out of here with that noise.
Polish police take down impersonation scammers. On Tuesday, Polish authorities announced they have detained 9 people in connection with a dismantled international cybercrime group accused of defrauding dozens of victims out of nearly $665,000. The suspects range in age from 19 to 51 years old and consist mostly of Ukrainian nationals, while others come from Georgia, Moldova, and Azerbaijan. Beginning in 2023, the suspects allegedly used spoofed phone numbers to pose as bank employees and law enforcement to target at least 55 victims into transferring funds to fraudulent accounts. The stolen funds were later converted into cryptocurrencies. Polish authorities previously charged 46 other individuals in connection with the operation, and more arrests may be coming.
All right. Yeah, obvious. So this is like mainly Ukrainian-based threat actors, and I just want to remind everybody, like, don't. Again, not a political show, but like, just because Ukraine is being attacked by Russia and Ukraine is our ally and we're trying to help Ukraine, that doesn't mean that there are individuals in Ukraine, just like there is individuals in the United States that are criminally motivated and willing to commit crime, right? So you can't just like put a blanket, these people are good label on it, okay? So RansomHub was a very aggressive ransomware as a service operation, And you could see that they've gone dark since March 31st. Now, part of that is law enforcement taking down their operation. Buddy, yeah, this is what law enforcement does. When you disrupt infrastructure, let's just go a little bit off the beaten path here. I should get somehow a t-shirt of this. When we go to David Bianco's Pyramid of Pain, which if you don't know, as Biggie says, now you know. Dude, when you take out their tools, which again, like infrastructure, to me, infrastructure kind of maps up into tools, maybe TTPs. You're really disrupting operations, okay? Imagine for a second your business, wherever you work. Imagine for a second law enforcement came in and just like took all your infrastructure away. Same thing that threat actors do, right? With ransomware. Like, how are you doing business? It's very, very disruptive. RansomHub, getting straight screwed. All right, so they've been quiet for a month. They do talk about how a rival scooped up one of their, Dragon Force. We've been talking about Dragon Force recently with their cartel platform where it's ransomware as a service, right? If you guys didn't know, there's like this new model we talked about on the show a couple weeks ago. There's a new model where like threat actors, instead of offering ransomware affiliate services, they're offering like ransomware platform services so you can spin up your own ransomware and do your own thing. So it's kind of like a plus on the ransomware as a service model. As always, guys, here's the deal. This is just a series of internal disagreements, right? Kevin wanted to go hard and Tom wanted to be like, no, like, I think we made enough money. There's a disagreement and off they go. Okay, dude, at the end of the day, you got to remember this. Ransomware, here, I'm going to drop a link to this story. This looks pretty good. At the end of the day, you got to remember, guys, listen, ransomware, it's criminal, yes, but it is a group of people engaged in a business. The business is illegal, so don't misunderstand what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, it's a business. There's multiple founders. There's multiple employees, right? And there's humans who have human flaws and human desires and human, worldviews. And when you disagree with someone that you're in business with, it can lead to massive business disruption, right? That's what it sounds like it's here. All I want to tell you guys is that, yeah, it is white labeled ransomware. That's a good way to put it, Zemeth. Here's the deal, okay? You should always remember this. When they say, oh, RansomHub's gone dark, it's inactive since March 31st. Unless you see the next line of that story say, and they've arrested the human, you can expect it to crop back up, right? Like, just like mowing the top of a weed versus ripping the weed out of the ground, that's the difference. If you just pull cut the weed, if you don't arrest these people, you just take out their infrastructure, you just basically push them down the road. Yeah, you get some relief for a month or two while they build up their other infrastructure, but they have a certain set of skills like Liam Neeson and Taken. They're going to use those skills. Guys, if you could, this is a stupid ass example, but like if you could snap your fingers and every time you snap it, I gave you $1,000, you're going to snap your fingers, right? Now, all of a sudden, law enforcement comes over and puts a glove on your hand. There's a glove on your hand. Right? And then you run away like they run away like Skeletor until next time, right? So when you do this, it doesn't make a sound. Well, guess what? Unless you cut my hand off or, put me in some type of like contraption that locks my hand up like prison, it's going to take me a minute, but I'm going to take the glove off and I'm going to go back to snapping my fingers, or I could leave the glove on and I could go get a real job doing something else that doesn't make $1,000 every time I snap my fingers. Do you understand? It's way more valuable, way more lucrative, way more fun to snap your fingers, right? And again, it's a stupid metaphor, but my point is, if you have a skill that makes a lot of money and your choices are to keep doing that skill and make a lot of money or go do something else that you don't want to do that doesn't make as much money, which one would you do? Like, really, which one would anyone do? Every single person here is going to choose to do the one that makes more money It's just human instinct or human, native human behavior. So anyways, we gotta arrest these people. That's what's up. And that's why this dude right here getting perp walked. Where is he? There he is. That's why this is a good thing for Scattered Spider. This will stop Scattered Spider, right? Or part of it.
Hub operation goes dark. A report issued this week by Group IB offers an in-depth look at RansomHub's affiliate recruitment methods, negotiation tactics, and aggressive extortion strategies. The researchers say the ransomware as a service operation has been inactive since April 1st, but speculated that the operation may have migrated to the Russian language-speaking Quilin operation. Earlier this month, GuidePoint Security noted that a series of internal disagreements between RansomHub administrators and some affiliates has caused disruption within the operation. The disagreements apparently stirred unease among other RansomHub affiliates who began diverting their communications with victims to rival platforms.
Oh, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Okay, really quickly, guys. I know some people who work over at Group IB. I hadn't heard of Group IB, but I'm going to give them a shout out. They're not a sponsor or anything. It's just I'm sharing this because I recently heard about them, and I like what I heard. I like what they're doing. They wrote this detailed blog post on this story, so I'm going to drop a link to that. I will be reading this later today personally. This is like one of those ones I'm going to flag for when I'm indisposed for 5 minutes and need to read something, holla. Anyways, I'll share that with you guys really quickly. Let's go over to the mid-roll.
Now, we'd like to thank today's episode sponsor, ThreatLocker. ThreatLocker is a global leader in zero-trust endpoint security, offering cybersecurity controls to protect businesses from zero-day attacks and ransomware. ThreatLocker operates with a default deny approach to reduce the attack surface and to mitigate potential cyber vulnerabilities. To learn more and start your free trial, visit threatlocker.com/CISO. That's ThreatLocker.com/CISO.
All right. Hey, all you first timers, giddy up on this. All right, y'all. We made it to the mid-roll. A couple minutes over the bottom of the hour, but that's fine. We're having a good time on this Thursday morning. Want to give a shout-out to the stream sponsors. Ricola Cough Drops. I've invested heavily in them in the last 24 hours, so shout-out to them. I do like the honey echinacea version, not the boring, bland, normal flavor. Shout-out to Barricade Cyber Solutions, Antisyphon Training, and ThreatLocker. All the links to all of them, including Delete Me and Flare. We put all the links in there every day anyways, whether they're sponsoring that episode or not. Links in the description below. Big fan of what they do and championing them. All right, guys. Hey, can I just tell you really quick, take a hot minute. Thank you to all of you, whether you're a first-timer or a long-timer. Eric covered the show yesterday. You guys were solid. I was in the, what was I in? Like a hotel room with Real Bilbo. We had separate rooms. It was just for the show. So before the rumor mill starts flying around, you guys bring the heat every single day. I want to say thank you. I did the Antisyphon webcast yesterday on how to audit CIS controls. I've made the slide deck available for that. I will get the link to the YouTube video shortly if Kathy Chambers can DM me or Zach or mods if you can go. I'm sure it's on the Antisyphon YouTube channel. If you could pull that, I will make it available. This was a great webinar, not just because I was in it, but I think it was real value. I went in and told Mrs. Auger right afterwards. I'm like, I really enjoyed that stream. So thank you, all of you, for all you do. All right, guys. Every single day of the week, we have a special segment, and Thursdays is What's Your Meme Thursday. We got a double shot today from Dan Reardon, a.k.a. the Haircut Fish. So I haven't been running as much as I'd like to. Frickin' work. Yarr! But I do love running. Dan Reardon's taken it upon himself to get into that. If you're a fan of The Office, you'll recognize this. So ladies and gentlemen, here is your meme of the week. What's your meme, Dan Reardon? Bringing the heat. I want you guys all to be introduced to the Jerry Auger Simply Cyber Charleston Casualty Joseph Memorial Celebrity GRC Awareness Pro-Am Fun Run Race for the audit. Woo! There will be prizes. There will be prizes. I'm pretty psyched getting amped up in here. And of course, here we go. Here's a live shot from the race. Me competing against Dan Reardon. Dan Reardon's begun dropping himself in these memes, which is an absolute delight. The Easter eggs. I mean, this Easter egg is pretty obvious. But yeah, here it is. Me and Dan competing. This is the episode where Steve Carell eats a ton of like creamy pasta Alfredo right before the race to carbo load, which is not what you're supposed to do. And begins puking everywhere. Hilarious. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dan Reardon. I'll leave these here, but everybody else, Alpha Sierra is going to lead us off as the drum major. Let's get our la-la-la-laws on. Let's go. Oh, yeah. So good, everybody. Hey, really quick, this is that...
welcome, everybody, to today's...
This is that webinar. You can see Zach Hill introducing me. Hold on. Sierra Montgomery with a 5 gifted subs. Sierra, thank you so very much. And if you're one of the 5 folks who are picking up those subs, you can thank Sierra right now. I'm going to drop a link to this webinar I did, GRC webinar. Excuse me. If you want to scoop that up, and honestly, Kathy or Zach, if you can, we could put the link to the actual slide deck in the description of this video. All right, let's get back to work, y'all. Finish strong.
Apple notifies victims of spyware attacks across the world. As of Wednesday, 2 people have confirmed they've received warnings from Apple that they were targeted with government spyware. One is Italian journalist Ciro Pellegrino, who confirmed he received an email and text message from Apple on Tuesday notifying him that he was targeted with spyware. The message also indicated that the notification is being sent to affected users in 100 countries. The second recipient is Dutch right-wing activist Eva Vlaardingerbroek, who posted on X Wednesday, quote, Apple detected a targeted mercenary spyware attack against your iPhone. The attack is likely targeting you specifically because of who you are and what you do. Apple has a high confidence in this warning. Please take it seriously, end quote. Vlaardingerbroek appeared to dismiss the alert as an attempt to intimidate and silence her. Apple has sent similar notifications to spyware targets in the past, and so have other tech companies like Google and WhatsApp.
Okay, what is the, like there was literally just a, international summit of countries and private sector spyware vendors to have an accord put together on how you should be doing this. Do you guys remember? It was like just 2 weeks ago. It had like an interesting name, like the Catalina wine mixer accord, or like the Dallas files or something. If someone can remind me, like I forget what the friggin' name was, but it was definitely like a catchy name, or like the Calypso situation or something like that. Hold on, now it's gonna bother me. Oh gosh, Spyware Summit or whatever. What was it called? Oh, that's going to eat away at my brain. Rent free. Damn it. What was it called? All right. So if someone can, it literally just happened like 2 weeks ago. So as we're digging on that, I just want to remind, like, okay, as I said back then, like, oh yeah, sure. Bring it to let's all have a friggin' kumbaya together. Let's gather around the campfire and hold hands and talk about how we're not going to misuse, nation state level spyware. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a group called NSO Group that has something called Pegasus spyware. There's other ones out there. There's one called Predator that's super powerful. And essentially, for $500,000 an install, and I'm sure they do bulk pricing and all this other you buy 4, get 1 free. So for $2 million, you can save 500 grand. Like, you can infect people's phones. Now, without their ability to know, right? So you can't stop someone sending you a text message. You can't stop someone from calling you, which is why we have to deal with all this spam and all robocalls and all this other stuff. Well, threat actors know that, and they've developed some really interesting techniques where they can send you a text message and effectively take your phone over without you interacting in it, which is why it's worth $500,000. Now, the ideal situation, if you go to their website, the landing page, the marketing collateral will say, "We stop child predators and organized criminals from doing bad. We're law enforcement's best friend." Yeah, that's great. But you know what? Cash talks, baby, right?
Straight cash, homie.
If somebody wants to silence an investigative journalist, if somebody wants to silence an opposing political rival who's challenging you, well, that's not really a law enforcement need. But guess what? If you can come up with some explanation,
Straight cash, homie.
or 500,000 explanations, well then, accommodations can be made. And that's the problem. The problem is this is weaponized against normal citizens who are trying to do the right thing, mostly investigative journalists who are looking into atrocities, what's happening to the Uyghur population, for example. And Apple notified these people, hey, by the way, they said in 100 countries. Can I just point out, in 100 countries, so that would mean to me, I would assume that means at minimum 100 different victims, right? Like just, simple math, right? I'm a simple man. Who was that? Was that freaking Allman Brothers? Was Simple Man Allman Brothers? I think it was. Anyways, TLDR here is, I said it back then, having that summit and everybody coming together was a bunch of lip service. I did not think it was going to cause the needle to move. It wasn't going to curb these type of attacks. And it appears it's not. So here's the deal. For me, for you, for Angular, for Brews and Hacks, for TG Artist, this is interesting, but this isn't really something that we need to worry about. Because honestly, and I'll make myself, it's Leonard Skinner. Okay, so I'll point it at myself. No one is going to spend $500,000 to target my phone. Believe that, okay? So I'm not super sweaty about this, but this is a thing. So if you do have VIPs, etc., this is a thing. And really quick, again, not to get political, but let's just play the game for a second. When you are in a position of power, like, I don't know, let's just say you're a senior federal agency director or secretary, right? Say you're a secretary of, I don't know, like the DOD or something, and you're using your personal phone to do work. This story becomes even more interesting. There's a reason that you should have a work phone and a personal phone in certain situations. Like at that level, you don't want to commingle those two things, because, if you're texting your wife on your work phone that has like national security secrets on it, and you do the thing where like, maybe your phone gets checked all the time, but maybe your wife's phone doesn't, and your wife's phone gets popped with this and then pivots over, right? So you've got to think of the bigger picture. You can't just be heads down myopic of like, oh, this is my little boundary and this is what I got to protect. You got to think of the way things interact with each other, right? The way that modern ecosystem of technology interacts. Identity is the new perimeter, right? Also, just a quick update from RSA. One of the interesting, like, subtle themes that I saw, like, agentic AI is, like, so hot, okay?
That Hansel's so hot right now.
And I don't have time to go all the way in on this, but agentic AI is so hot right now. And on top of that, the AIs have identity, right? I'm not saying they have sentience, but they have identity, and they are making decisions and moving forward. So not only do you have to worry now about protecting Carl from doing dumb stuff, you have to worry about agentic AI Carl doing dumb stuff as well, or being tricked to do dumb stuff. So it's some type of like hybrid. We might even, Dan Reardon, if you can, if he's in the ethos, it would be nice if we can get some type of like Borg version of Carl, So we like if there's a agentic AI does something stupid story, we can get Borg Carl going.
Meta launches Llama Firewall to secure AI. On Tuesday, Meta unveiled Llama Firewall, an open source framework designed to secure artificial intelligence systems by leveraging 3 guardrails. The first is Prompt Guard 2, which detects direct jailbreak and prompt injection attempts in real time. The second is Agent Alignment Checks, which inspect agent reasoning for goal hijacking and indirect prompt injection. The third is Code Shield, an online static analysis engine that helps prevent the generation of insecure code by AI agents. The company said, quote, Llama Firewall is built to serve as a flexible, real-time guardrail framework for securing LLM-powered applications, end quote. Malicious WordPress.
Okay, hold on. So what are we saying here? Meta solved the jailbreak problem. All right, what are we doing here? Llama Firewall. So basically, okay. 2 things about this. Number one, you see how there's like Llama Firewall in 2 different places? Like, first of all, that catches my eye as like, what? So is the LM generative AI model inside the Llama Firewall? Like, this to me is already kind of wonky that it's in 2 places, right? Second of all, this is basically a wrapper. Not Eminem, not, The Game and 50 Cent collabing on that one song that was kind of hot for a minute. This is a W wrapper. Again, Gen Z probably thinks I mean like the W, right? So WRAPPER wrapper around the LLM AI model to basically prevent you from doing bad on it, right? So it's validation, it's checking. This is a standard approach to software engineering and protecting. So a parallel here would be, think of like exposing APIs and controlling that instead of exposing the entire substructure of an application. Think of it as, basically like Windows internals. You're not supposed to access those directly. You access, functions that then are allowed to access those Windows sys internal functions. So that's what they're doing here. This is, this actually tracks as far as like maturity goes of software engineering. Again, this does prevent, according to them, code injection and jailbreaking and stuff. I'm sure it curbs it, but may not absolutely break it. I guarantee you, not guarantee you, but I have a hot take. Okay? It might be too quick of a turnaround for Black Hat because like CFPs have already been open and stuff like that. But I could see some talks coming out, big splashy talks of jailbreaking this. All right, I'm calling it right now. Some security researcher is going to do something that gets around this firewall thing, and it's going to be a hot blog post or a hot talk at a conference. So that's that. Anyways, whatever. Thank you, Meta. Thank you, engineers. We should be doing this. This is a good practice. It's just, it just elevates the bar. Because before, like, the user was just interfacing with the generative AI model, right? Grammy, tell me a story about my favorite bedtime story of how to make, nitroglycerin.
WordPress plugin poses as a security tool. According to WordFence researchers, a new malware campaign targeting WordPress sites employs a malicious plugin disguised as a security tool to trick users into trusting it. The malware provides attackers with persistent access, remote code execution, and JavaScript injection. At the same time, it remains hidden from the plugin dashboard to evade detection. WordFence discovered the malware in late January 2025, programmatically activating a malicious plugin. If the plugin is deleted, a PHP file automatically recreates and reactivates it on the next site visit. WordFence hypothesizes the infection occurs via a compromised hosting account or FTP credentials.
All right. So FTP credentials, right? Like, why are we running FTP, first of all? Okay, at minimum, you should be running SFTP. Running FTP is like running Telnet. It's not secure, guys. FTP, like you pass credentials and clear. All right. Second of all, if you're running WordPress, basically this thing provides persistent access. So, that's good. Remote code execution, that's good. Like for the threat actor, not for me and you, right? For threat actors, they're like,
all day long, I need that persistence access, baby.
Right? So that's what this is doing. It looks like the plugin is actually hidden from the admin panel. So if you go in just to look what plugins are there, you would not see it. Although it says disguised as a security tool, right? See, it says that it remains hidden from the plugin dashboard to evade detection. So I think what it is it looks like a security tool. So you download and install it, and then you probably assume it doesn't work, and then you look for it in the plugin panel and you don't see it. So you're like, whatever. I'm moving on to the next thing. But in reality, it's straight up popped your box. Let's see. So obviously, yeah, server logs would be interesting. C2 traffic, servers located in Cyprus. So again, David Bianco's Pyramid of Pain. Yes, you can look at the IP addresses in your logs and see if they're going to Cyprus to think, oh, maybe this is this. At the bottom of the Pyramid of Pain, it is quote unquote easy for threat actors to change their IP addresses. So if you just look in your logs for IPs going to Cyprus and you don't see any, and then you're like, well, I guess my work here is done. Nah, think again, like you may still be popped. All I would say is, number one, this is interesting simply because it hides from users. What I would say is, number one, educate your end users on, downloading plugins for their WordPress. Just be mindful. Kind of for me, I would stick to the tried and true best practice plugins. Number two, because it's going to be hidden and stuff, if you could increase logging activity and like detection around the WordPress servers to look for kind of anomalous traffic coming out of the box, that would be good. Usually WordPress servers are hosting web applications, so they're going to get hit a lot inbound, but original outbound traffic, right? So traffic originating on the server going out would likely be less frequent depending on what you have going on that particular server underneath, because WordPress is just an application. There's still the operating system and other apps on the box. So they're definitely going to have like network traffic. So it's not exclusively outbound traffic would be for this plugin, but you can look at it and you can see, anomalous traffic. Maybe, as always, keep your firewalls up to date if you can with IP block lists, like, kind of the basic, security engineer best practices from a protection perspective. But this is a bit gnarly. There's likely, because it's a plugin, it definitely has to write to disk, right? This isn't a fileless malware. So, here you go. This WP cron PHP is a modified file, so it's essentially like a Trojanized file. You would expect to see this WP cron file inside there anyways, but it's modified, so if you want, you could go sniff this thing. It's a PHP file, which means it's interpreted, which means it's not compiled, which ultimately means that you can look at it in a text editor and see what it does if you really want to go down the rabbit hole. All right, let's keep going.
Maryland man pleads guilty to outsourcing U.S. government work to foreign national. Vietnamese-born naturalized U.S. citizen Minh Phuong Ngoc Vong has pleaded guilty to fraud after landing a job with a U.S. government software contractor and then outsourcing the work to a North Korean developer located in China. According to prosecutors, in January of 2023, a Virginia-based technology company seeking a full-stack web developer received a resume falsely claiming Vong held a bachelor's degree and had 16 years of experience. In reality, he worked at a nail salon in Bowie, Maryland. Vong participated in multiple job interviews to land the position, then worked on a software development contract for the Federal Aviation Administration. Vong then installed remote access software on a company-issued laptop, allowing the developer access from China between March and July of that year, while masking the user's location. Vong has admitted to similar frauds, targeting at least 13 U.S. companies between 2021 and 2024. He's due to be sentenced in August and faces up to 20 years in prison.
All right. I mean, hey, you know what? Hat tip to threat actors. Hat tip to threat actors. I don't promote crime, and I wouldn't have thought of this, but I do appreciate it, right? Game recognizes game, as the Gen X or more millennial people would say. Also, just shout out Leonard Skinner does Simple Man. I've now been informed. I think if I dug deep, I would have known that. But all right, so here's the premise. Okay, there are these concepts called overemployed. This became wicked hot during the pandemic. Okay.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
So let's talk about overemployed for a hot second, because just being overemployed doesn't mean that you're committing cybercrime and you're going to get sentenced to 20 years. But here's the deal. You get a job, okay? You lie through your teeth, or you don't lie, it doesn't matter, right? You get a job working for a company remotely, and then you start work, and then you get another job working for a government a company remotely. So now you got two full-time jobs. In reality, you either like skip meetings or you do a job at that work. And the idea is that it's going to take them 90 days, 120 days to fire you. And for all that time, you're just raking in the money, baby. And because you've got 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs, who gives a crap? You're making your annual salary in a few months. And if you get fired, big deal. I got 4 other jobs. I've got that diversified revenue stream, baby. That is what overemployed was. And there was a lot of influencers pimping that concept out. This dude right here has taken it to the next level, where he gets the jobs and then cleverly hires somebody to do the work for them. Now, I did see this particular attack a couple different ways. So now you don't get fired from your job. You just have 5 jobs, and you're basically a manager, and you've outsourced the 5 jobs to 5 different people, and you send them your multi-factor authentication token, you have them VPN in, and now essentially you've set up a small business consulting business, right? Like, this is a legit business model. It's just the employer didn't sign up for you to do it this way. So now they're working. You've got 5 revenue streams. You pay these 5 individuals on Fiverr a fraction of what you're getting paid, and now literally all you have to do is take the work from them and deliver it to the client or your boss. And if they do a crap job, who cares? You get fired. Big deal. Just grab another job. Take that to the next level. This guy was outsourcing it to North Korea. Now, if I had to guess, okay, I feel very confident in this. I feel like this is a mashup of a couple different things. First of all, I think this dude was doing what I just said, getting a bunch of jobs and outsourcing it. At the same time, there's a massive push by North Korea to get IT jobs and like basically exploit their insider access for espionage purposes. They're also making money and sending it back to the People's Republic of North Korea, right? So it's like almost like 2 criminals doing business to business work, and I'm sure they weren't checking each other's stuff. So this Maryland nail salon guy basically stepped on a landmine by accidentally hiring North Korean devs to do his work. I think that's what happened. Now, there's a lot wrong with all of this, but I'm glad they cracked down on this one. This is good. Thanks to the squad membership, Brazo UK. That blue badge looking good on you, bro.
And that does it for today's cybersecurity headline.
Woo! Someone call Nick Barker. We just nailed this, right? We're gliding in for landing right at 9 o'clock. So we're winning so hard. Before you get out of here, I want to tell you a couple things. Number 1, we got Jawjacking coming up right in a hot minute. If you have questions, Just wait a minute. We will get them answered, whether it's certifications, industry talk, etc. We got you covered. Also at, excuse me. Hold on. I'm pretty sure we have a, give me a second. I'm pretty sure we have a stream at 9:30 a.m. today. Hold on one second. Computer, load. There we go. Just to confirm. May 1st. Yes, sir. All right. We've got episode 3, season 3 of Cybersecurity Mentors. Why learning how to build, quote unquote, is essential. This is a 2-part series. So if you're looking to understand, dude, the host of this show, John Hoyt, is the CISO at Clemson University, and he came up in the SOC. Very smart dude. I love John Hoyt. Like, he's a good personal friend of mine as well. He cares. Also, his co-host is Steve Higuerita, who runs the SOC at Clemson. So deep technical expertise, but they're looking to give back to the community and to anyone who's willing. So basically, you got a double shot of Jawjacking with some hot takes, and then immediately following that, you're going to get Cybersecurity Mentors. So a lot of opportunity, a lot of education in here. And then if that wasn't enough on the value train, I will be hosting a live stream at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time today with Christoph Limpelaer, founder at Cyber. Tyler Ramsby turned me on to this guy. I think he's got a lot of alignment with what we're doing at Simply Cyber and wanting to help people. He's also a cloud security pro. Cyber's doing a lot of education, free education around cloud security. We're going to get all of that. We're going to data mine Christoph Limpelaer for some value later today and make him part of the community. You see what I'm saying? So all that and more coming up. Guys, Eric Taylor's in the green room. He's going to be doing your Jawjacking today. I'm still trying to dig out from RSA. Thank you all so very much, guys. Had a lovely time this morning. Great to be back at the Buffer Auger studio. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Until next time, stay secure. Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jawjacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some Jawjacking.
What's going on? Coming in here hot. Here to drop some knowledge on you. How's everybody doing today? I am uber spicy this morning. So before I get into the uber spiciness, because I'm still doing a little bit of research trying to figure a couple things out. If this is your first time here, welcome. Pleasure to meet you. My name is Eric Taylor. I'm the CEO and Chief Forensic Operator here at Barricade Cyber Solutions, where things hit the fan, we come in and help things out. And I'm here to answer your questions from a very technical level, and we'll kind of go through and get things done. But while we are waiting for questions to come in, I'm going to talk about something that just kind of hit the feeds here just a little bit and get a little bit uber spicy. I think I have all my notifications turned off. So we'll start off with a preface here of... All right, so you'll probably hear this here in the next couple of days, but Axiom discloses data breach leak to Silo hack. Okay, so Axiom is notifying over 100,000 people that their personal information has been stolen in a data breach potential linked to Silo hack. All right, first things first. All right, let me do it that way. This first off goes off to show third-party risk, right, or supply chain risk. You have a third-party application or vendor, or a third-party vendor supplying an application and or service to your organization. You've got to make sure is music is done. Yeah, I figure because I'm sharing my audio. No, because that's coming from Restream, the pain. That fixed weird. Huh. Okay. But anyway, you got to make sure you do due diligence on the vendors that you use for a product and or service. and kind of figure out, what security policies are they implementing? Are they adhering to best practices? Can they report on it? And God forbid, you can't even hear that because I'm not sharing my screen. I really got to get with somebody on that. I played the dolphin for you. For the love of freaking everything holy, stop letting companies self-acetate on their security platform. Freaking stop. Make them prove it. Make them give you a documentation. And if you get a SOC 2 report, also, I could do a SOC 2 audit on a Sprite can, and the company Barricade Cyber can have a SOC 2. I crap you not. I make jokes about it all the time. But I had a 2020 Chevy or a GMC Sierra 1500. I went all the way to the end of a SOC 2 audit. And I literally asked it to, because I wanted to go through the entire process of getting a SOC 2 audit. And right there at the end, we had like 2 meetings left or whatever. I fully paid the people. And I said, I need to sit down with you. This thing was an entire joke to me. I wanted to see how far in this process I could get with a SOC 2 audit for the business with the scope of my truck. Right? I mean, I've got Wi-Fi there. I've got, security, aka a remote alarm or a remote lock thing. So you can apply some controls to your truck. I literally went through it. There was 2 meetings left to certify the SOC 2 audit for Barricade Cyber on a effing truck. So when you get one, look at the freaking scope, because it could be as broad or as narrow as the company defines. Just because somebody has a SOC 2 audit, it doesn't mean crap. Do your due diligence, ladies and folks. So let's get back to it. Yeah, I'm sure Jerry's in the background somewhere eating it up. I'm talking about GRC stuff, right? So anyway, they're notifying 100,000 people that their personal information was leaked by CeeLo, right? Okay, perfect. Third-party vendor. The part that rubs me a little wrong on this is their incident notice. Let me actually bring this up. So I'll post this in here because I'm in a point today where I'm just ready to name and shame. I really, really am. Okay, so this is posted on April 28th. Let me actually make this bigger so that way everybody can see. Oh, we've actually got third-party incident, third-party Telecom. Man, these people they do not know how to choose vendors. Holy I didn't even notice this when I first looked. So they're part of Change Healthcare. Restrict. Telecom. Oh my gosh. Like, are they playing the lottery? Like, how many notifications can we send out in a effing year? This is not a contest, ladies and gentlemen. There is 2025. We have 1, 2, 3. Minimize this. 4, 5 security incidents by an organization since the start of 2025. It's like, let's play the Russian roulette. Come on. Okay, anyway, let's get back to the soapbox of this particular train wreck. All right, so they finally admitted, because it was published out by Bibling Computer, because their name was posted on CLOP. No data. They probably paid the notice, because I was literally on CLOP's group here looking for them. And their original posting that listed them, this should give me an error still, but this was the full URL. Yeah, server error. So it's an assumption that Clio paid CLOP to keep their name out of their ever-loving mouth. Let's see. Yep. Our teams are reaching out in secret chat. Is there any other ones? Oh, nope. Oh, they removed the link. It was being pushed out. Yep, so they did not pay the notice, but the data with Klopp only stays up there for so long. So this is back in 2024. Klopp posted it, according to my CTI feed here, January 27. Oh, this was updated. Let's see. Yep. Okay, so they posted it. Going back to their notification, and this is what really rubs me the wrong way, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get into this. What information was involved? Our investigation determined that personal information involved in this incident included demographic information such as name, address, phone number, email, date of birth, race, gender, social security number, as well as some clinical information related to inpatient visits, such as the services that were performed, a physician name, admission, discharge date. Like, they literally just did a complete dump, right? What are we doing? We're offering you 2 years of complimentary credit monitoring and identity theft services for those impacted by Kroll. Those who don't know, Kroll is a competitor of Barricade Cyber. They do a lot more than just digital forensics and incident response. But part of their services are credit monitoring and notification requirements. So here's where things, well, where's the one part? Our investigation determined on January 21st, 2025, that Axion inadvertently disclosed information to a former business partner, and some of this information was likely stolen from them due to a vulnerability in third-party software used by the former business partner. Okay. When did Axion, I believe that's how you pronounce in this group, this healthcare group, when did you terminate your relationship with Clio? When did you terminate it? When did you go through and demand documentation and proof that they have scrubbed all of your data? All right, most of you guys are in an MSP or IT in here. So let me break it down in a little bit more ways that maybe you'll be able to understand in a real world scenario. Your RMM, take it Kaseya, God forbid, Datto, which is still Kaseya, but still a different tool, LabTech, Synchro, whatever it is, your RMM choice, the tool of choice, and just a ton of data. Outside of ConnectWise's LabTech, which is called Automate now, I think that's the only maybe Kaseya still offers an on-premise, but most of those are cloud-based solutions. Now, let's say you're going to move from on-premise LabTech or cloud LabTech over to Datto or Synchro or one of those other platforms. Great. You go through your process, you're deploying your agents, you're doing all this. What are you doing about scrubbing all that data from your old RMM? Can you verify that data has been scrubbed from your old RMM? Because I'm telling you, there's a metric F ton of data that an RMM collects. And when you go through additional customizations, like, is this service running? Is that thing doing this? This service is not installed. That means that application. So we're doing an automation script. We want to ensure that we're enforcing policies. I know Emmy-bots out there to help do that for a lot of IT and MSPs. But in the days of old, a lot of people would still find out what the registry keys are to enforce said policy to be implemented, especially with remote devices where GPOs can't be pushed to. Long story short, you're not going through and most MSPs that I know are not going through and saying, hey, cloud provider of my now ex parte of RMM tool, I want verification that not only you're shutting down access so nobody can log into my tenant, I want proof of complete data scrubbing. And let me let you know, there is something that you can do for your new or RMM tool that you're going in there. Make sure it's written in your service agreement. Upon termination, proof of data will be scrubbed as it relates to your company. You could definitely have that redlined in there. It may take a lot of back and forth, and you may have to have some legal folks to review to make sure they didn't put a different clause that would indemnify your additional, but people aren't doing this. And it's a business practice all over the place that we need to change. But hey, CISO's been saying, every year, all the same stuff that people need to do. Anyway, back to this. I told you guys, if I didn't warn you ahead of time, this is going to be a little bit of a salty rant coming out the gate because this thing drives me nuts. We already talked about what happened. They don't disclose when they let go of Clio as a business partner. But so now that I see all these security incidents for this year, I'm just going to call it complete BS. They're not doing any sanitation at all. They don't really give a flying rip. Come at me. I don't care. Again, the comments that I express are not of the show or the host, is purely of my own and Barricade Cyber. So come at me. What can you do? We regret any inconvenience. Do you really? You regret it? I don't think so. Because you clearly have 5 incidents this year and you haven't learned a freaking thing. Order a credit report. No, how about you give it? Remain vigilant. We encourage individuals to remain alert of any solicited communications regarding their personal information and everything like that. You know what? How about you, Asinian? How about you stay vigilant? I'm getting sick and freaking tired of healthcare companies that are doing trash like this. They think they're immune. They think that they're, able to do whatever they want to because most threat actors are not going to pop them. Well, guess what? As you're seeing this year, and even as of last year, threat actors are going after hospitals. It's time for you to freaking bow up and freaking start taking cybersecurity seriously. I'm so sick and tired of this. Healthcare organizations have the most sensitive data about everyone. And that is, we're not even going to go to the 23andMe because you're volunteering that information to an external identity. You're going there for medical treatment and you expect them to keep a certain level of security in place. And they're just willy-nilly sharing it with everybody, and their partners, and not scrubbing their data. Can someone send me the link to the LinkedIn network? What LinkedIn network? What am I missing? Anyway, this is shame on Obsidian. These people are complete trash. I can't stand them. I hope somebody comes down and drops a fine on them to the classification of a nuclear blast. Like, I want to see this organization get wiped off the face of this planet because they don't care. Let me make this clear. Ransomware is the primary thing of our business. I get mistakes happen. Mistakes happen all the freaking time, ladies and gentlemen. You actually left, you were trying to help out a remote user. We literally had a case this year. They have full VPN, MFA'd VPN, but they were having a problem with one user getting on the VPN. So they set up an RDP. They changed the RDP port on the firewall. They thought they locked it down properly to that remote user because they needed about another 24 hours working with a vendor or their firewall vendor to figure out what was going on. But this person was important. They needed to work, but they were like 4 states over remote, not 20 minutes down the road and just didn't want to come in remote. So they thought they did the configuration correctly. The policy was there, but it was just not configured quite right, and it accidentally opened it. They didn't put the hierarchy in, right? So in some firewalls, you know, that the traffic, and a lot of firewalls, the traffic goes in a hierarchy. Does it match this rule? No. Match this rule? No. Match this rule? No. And it goes down until it meets a rule, or it gets the blanket deny policy in the firewall. The order of the order of events was not put in the right spot, and allowed external identities to come in and compromise that one end user's device very, very quickly. Like I said, they only needed 24 hours. It ended up taking 48 by the time they actually got it, closed it, but the threat actor was already there in 36 hours. 36 hours, roughly. I think it was a little bit less. I think it was like 32, 33. And then they had their remote access tool installed, so they had their persistence. So once they fixed it and they shut down RDP, they were already inside the network, right? So I get mistakes happen. They happen all the time. And I get biblical here. You know, I'm a man of God. We're not perfect. So to cast judgment on somebody for a mistake, I will never, ever do. Ever. However, if you're an idiot doing mistakes after mistakes after mistakes, I'm going to call you out for the idiots that you are. Because clearly you don't learn from your lessons. It's just ridiculous to me. Effing ridiculous. Now that I've raised everybody's blood pressure in the room, man, it doesn't even look like we're going to be able to get to freaking any. Let me see if I can answer a couple quick questions, because those who don't, if you don't have the link already, I think Jerry already posted it in here, and I like to answer y'all's questions as much as possible. So sorry that I took up so much time on that rage. But I just posted the link in there for the raid coming up for Master of Cybersecurity Part 1. So definitely go raid that here in about 6 minutes. But let me see if I can get a question or two in before we have to go over to that. So, Andrew, what is a good certification to pursue after Sec Plus? I would like to have a solid foundation before applying positions. Network Plus? I really think so. CYCA Plus may be a good one for you to go after. Those would be the two that I would consider recommending for you. Yeah. George, no, we can't change everything, but here's, like I said a moment ago, George, at what point, seriously, I've said it many times before, so those who have been around for a while, sorry for repeating it, but for those who are new, I am of the opinion businesses are not going to change until they're forced to. And I guarantee you, Ascenian is paying a price for it. I can also guarantee you that the price that they're paying is nothing compared to their revenue. They're not going to feel it. They don't care. So when is that going to change? When is the pain being invoked onto organizations with, I mean, I understand, again, 1 or 2 breaches, okay, you know, don't need to make the fines crazy for them. They're already feel bad for what they've done. It was a mistake, what they did. More times than not, it wasn't due to negligence, right? But when you have 5 in 1 year, when is the HIPAA laws going to smack them around? Like, no, you clearly are not paying attention. You clearly are not doing what you're supposed to be doing in terms of security. It just drives me nuts, ladies and gentlemen. Received a letter last week, an incident with Hertz. Yeah, that actually came out about 2 or 3 weeks ago. They have a Kroll offer for those of us affected. Also, not a great recent history of Kroll. No, Kroll. Gam, are you in the same? Are you in CTI? Are you in my world? For you not to know of some of the stuff that you speak of, I think you're in my world. All right, last question. Seriously, we got to bow out and get ready for to raid over there. I want to stand up my own cyber consulting. How do I start? I want to be like you. No, you don't. No, you don't. I take more medicine for high blood pressure than anybody should. Here's the God's honest truth. I am one person in a sea of many fishes. I am one that grew up in a generation where I call the BS for the BS it is, and I am not scared to do it. I will do it as politely and respectfully that I can. I have in my senior years have been able to restrain myself where I don't go full nuclear anymore. Because I used to be massive nuke and pave across the planet, and I didn't care. That, of course, had some backlashes, but I am definitely one to call the BS that it is. It's taken many, many years for me to get here, and I don't recommend anybody being where I'm at. So, anyway, I'm sure they regret it. I mean, they're not happy about it. Are they though, Rosalind UK? Are they? If you could, I would do this. I would pay you, Rosalind UK, or I'll even make this even broader. Anybody of this community, make the CEO and the C-suite of Axient come on and give a meaningful, heartfelt apology. Like, you could look at them and tell that they are sorry for what they did and they've learned their errors in the way. I will donate $10,000 to somebody's charity because you won't be able to get it. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. Until next time, I gotta talk to Jerry. Like, can we not schedule things so that way I can go along? But anyway, I know the audience is going to start dropping because the other premiere is going. Thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Until next time, stay curious. Try not to be so salty as I am, and we'll see you next time.
There once was a kid whose passwords laid across all sites. They were the same, a criminal, then found their fame by taking that data to go.
Soon may a criminal come to steal your pictures and data and run. One day when the crime is done, they'll steal your account.
Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed that content. Keep the cybersecurity train going by connecting with the other Simply Cyber community resources. We have the Discord server that's lively and always keeps the conversation going. You can connect with me directly on LinkedIn. And also every single weekday morning on the Simply Cyber channel, we're doing live daily cyber threat briefings, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, as well as Thursday at 4:30 p.m. We're doing live stream interviews with industry experts, and we produce videos that we push out every Wednesday morning. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. I hope you enjoyed the content, and we'll see you in the next one.